Welcome back. Brantley Method Recruiting Assist of the Week. Here's one that I think is vitally important for a lot of my families out there, a lot of my student athletes out there. Missing out on this grassroots season, I think you're going to see a abundance of student athletes looking to go the prep and the post-grad route. They're going to be looking for additional opportunities to showcase themselves. Typically the grassroots season is utilized as an opportunity to have national competition for schools that only compete locally, or to give a player an extra year or extra exposure opportunity before college for a lot of guys. So now I think you'll see a lot of people say, okay, you know what, I need national competition, or I missed out on some opportunities for exposure, so I'll do a post-grad year instead of taking that opportunity or walking on somewhere, which I'm not arguing with. I'm not saying you shouldn't go post-grad. I'm not saying you shouldn't go prep. That's not what I'm saying. But what I want to tell you is they're all not created equally. And my time spent at Spire Academy, I learned that the hard way. And what I mean by that is, you'd be surprised how many teams I had on my schedule that we get phone calls that they shut down their program midway through. Post-grads. Last year I had a kid come to me. He was a Division I commit. Midway through the year, his school just folded. It stopped. And he had no clue what that next step was. He still needed to develop. He still needed to play. Families have spent money, and it happens almost every year. I had an opportunity. I was consulting with a prep school, out on the East Coast, and their guys got evicted from their houses because their housing situation wasn't set up right. Guys are making false promises, telling kids, hey, if you come here, you can play in the NBA straight out of high school. If you come here, I'm going to get you Division I offers. But the reality is, if they have never had a history of Division I players or never had a history of NBA players, then all they're doing is selling you a dream. And you need to take a deep look into what's realistic. And if you're a guy that didn't have Division II offers or didn't have any interest from a college, don't think that because somebody tells you, hey, I've had Division I players come out of my school, that now all of a sudden you're going to get Division I offers by going to that school. The reality is, we have to first take a look in the mirror, and then second, do research. And as you're doing that research, players that are watching this, parents that are watching this, AAU and grassroots coaches that are watching this are going to be looking for homes for your players. A couple key things to pay attention to. Number one, the academics. You have to make sure that whatever prep, post-grad you're going to aligns with your academic needs. If it doesn't, scratch it off the list immediately. If they don't have a game plan for making sure that you're going to be NCAA eligible, if they don't have a compliance department, if they don't have anything to structure to make sure that you're not going to drop the ball in that area, it's an automatic no. So that's number one. Number two, housing. A lot of these places don't have stable housing. That prep that I was telling you about where their guys got evicted, they're talking about next year putting guys in an extended stay. I mean, think about it from a standpoint of, do you want to spend money to go live in a hotel where you don't know what tomorrow's going to look like for you? There's no stability. So that's number two. Number three is meals. What's that meal schedule look like? Do you have a cafeteria on campus? Do you have somewhere where your players are eating? Are they eating 3 meals a day? And number four, most importantly, talk to past players. They can sell you whatever they want to sell you. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you. But what I've learned is people typically are who they have been. And if a program is not taking care of their players in the past, if a program's not feeding and housing their players, if a program's not putting guys at the next level, putting guys in college, what makes you think this could be any different for you? So these are some key things that you need to look into, and you need to do some very deep dives into prior to saying, yep, I'm going to go the post-grad route, or I'm going to go the prep route, because they're not all created equal and you can easily get fooled. All right, guys, thanks for watching.